Hey guys, Joe here at ECRM's Global Wine, Beer, and Spirits session in New Orleans, and I have a special guest with me today. It's Steve Raye from Bevology and the author of
How to Get U.S. Market Ready.
So today we're going to discuss, this conversation is going to be really aimed at wine, beer, and spirit suppliers in other countries that are looking to do business here, which is what your specialty is.
Yep.
And so we have a few key points. Do you want to give a quick overview of the challenges or obstacles that they face, and then we could get into some of the specifics on how they should interact with buyers?
Great question. The overview really is in the book, and obviously it's thick. I can't go over all the details there. I've had the opportunity this week to sit in a whole bunch of meetings with buyers and sellers and came out with a bunch of insights as to some of the things that have really worked and made a big difference in getting to a positive result. And there are really four basic questions that buyers are asking suppliers. And I think if you plan in advance to know that those are going to be asked, and importantly, if you can answer those questions in the first 90 seconds, and when they ask you the question, tell me about what you've got to answer those four questions. And they are in order. One is, do you have distribution in the markets that I'm interested in? And there's only one answer to that question, and that's yes. There's a lot of different ways to get to that solution. You may already have an importer and have distribution covered. There are suppliers here like Park Street and MHW who can help set you up with distribution. And in fact, many retailers have what we call clearing wholesalers and clearing importers that they work with. So if they're interested in their product, they can help you solve that problem. But at the end of the day, when they ask the question, do you have distribution in my markets? There's one answer. Answer is yes.
So now if they don't have distribution in those markets, how do they get it? How do they?
Well, again, one of the things I've heard here and also learned in other places is that the most valuable thing you can bring to a prospective importer, if you're looking for an importer, or a prospective distributor, if that's the case, is an existing customer with an order. So if you've talked to one of the people here and they say, yes, I'm interested in buying 2 containers of whatever it is, you are now empowered to call it a distributor, and you're not begging them, hey, would you please take my brand? It's, hey, would you please take my brand? I got a standing order for 2 containers. I guarantee you'll get your phone call answered, and you'll probably get a distributor too. You're bypassing the system and navigating your way through it by answering the question everybody has. How do I know it will sell? You bring a customer, it'll sell.
So you're kind of reverse engineering it. You
Exactly.
got the buyer,
Exactly.
the retail buyer saying, yes, I want it, and now you're just working your way
More to
back.
the point, that is the essential strategy why ECRM works, is you're not bypassing the system, but you're closing the loop, and you're answering all the objections anybody's going to have before they even get raised.
So get the buyer and the distributor will come.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Second one is pricing. Make sure that you know what your MSRP is, as well as your XLR price or whatever your distributor landed price is going to be, and be able to distinguish between that. So XLR price is the price at the factory dock. The selling costs from the distributor to the retailer is what they're going to pay. And if you can work your way through from that to an MSRP, that's even better. One of the things in the book and in a corresponding website called GetUSMarketReady.com, registered there, there's four free tools. One really important one is called a price structure template. And it's a workable Excel spreadsheet that you can put in your prices, and it will do all the calculations for taxes and everything else to get you both to a case and bottle MSRP. So again, they ask you a question about pricing, you've got the answer on both ends, clean, you know what you're doing.
gotcha. So then the next point is where? Where is it going to be sold?
Absolutely. So that's kind of a question you want to ask the buyer in this particular case. If they're a chain, what states are you in? Hopefully you had done your homework and you already know the answer to that type of thing. What type of accounts? If it's going to be in a Whole Foods, which is a much more upscale type of supermarket, or it's going to be in a Winn-Dixie, which may be a little bit more downscale. Same thing is true if you're on-premise. Is it an on-premise oriented brand? And the other thing that pops up there too is a lot of people I'm seeing are asking about private label. That's become a big thing in the industry, and particularly so here. So suppliers who have an openness to private label and buyers who are looking for suppliers who are thinking that way, this is a great place for them. I've seen the conversations have been really great. So, wow, you can, supply all my needs. You're a co-op. You can do any kind of wine or label you want. Super.
Great. Well, another area that I want to discuss is, wellness is having such a big impact in the wine, beer, and spirits categories. And, new this year, a lot of that is coming into the conversation.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Certainly on the consumer side. So the questions that the buyers are asking is, are you organic? And really what they mean is, are you sustainably produced? Do you have some sort of certification of biodynamic or organic? Now that becomes a very challenging issue in the U.S. because beer, wine, and spirits is regulated by the TTB. Organic is regulated by the USDA. And so you would have to get a different registration to be certified organic. But here's the big news. There's been some research that just came out that the word sustainable is the really resonating word that consumers want to hear. So if you're sustainably produced, but not necessarily authentically organic, that's okay. And make sure you say it on the label, or at least on the front label, or at least on the back label, because that sustainability is going to be a point of difference that makes a difference, both for customers as well as the buyers who are here at the show.
Excellent. All right. Well, before we wrap up, tell us a little bit about the book and where and how they can get it.
I wrote the book because my primary business is helping brands who want to come to the U.S. avoid making mistakes that others have made before them, again, for the first time. So the book is available on Amazon, and really it's a comprehensive overview of all the things I've learned in 30 years in the industry. Very, very practical uses, or very practical presentation of information. One of the things that's in the book, and also on the Get U.S. Market Ready website, is a glossary of terms. And I find that many producers, certainly domestic of course, but also specifically international producers, are not familiar with the terminology, and they feel that they're like not in the club,
Yeah.
But here's the glossary. Study that, read it on the plane on the way over here, and when somebody says something about, do you do DAs or SPAs, you'll know that means depletion allowance or special purchase allowance, and it's a price discount program. So if you know the lingo, you'll be perceived as much more professional, and the conversation with the buyer will go much more smoothly, quickly, and efficiently.
Great. And your website?
Website is bevologyinc.com. I've got a great blog there. I post a whole bunch of videos. This one will be posted on there as well. And buy the book.
Excellent. Well, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
All
I was
right.
happy to be here.